Welcome to Fluido Moments, our podcast series where we will talk about what's it like to be a Fluidian, what we do every day, and what our culture is all about. This is your backstage pass to all things Fluido. Welcome to Fluido Moments, Linda. We're here to talk about all sorts of things around Fluido culture. What's it like to work at Fluido? My name is Paulina Leute, Head of People and Culture. You knew that already. And today we're here to talk about onboarding. And with me, I have you, Linda. Maybe you want to introduce yourself. And so how long have you been here exactly at Fluido?
So my name's Linda. I'm working here as a business consultant. And I started in mid-November, perfect time to come to Finland. I've been here about 4 months then,
Yeah. So, fairly new at Fluido, and that's why we're going to be talking about onboarding with you, right?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, you've been with us 4 months, and there's a great story behind how you got to Fluido. So, you want to share with people, how on earth did you come to Finland and November and Fluido?
Yeah. Do you want my whole kind of professional background and everything too, or
whatever feels good to you?
Okay.
Your story, whatever your story is.
So my background has been in the nonprofit public sector actually, and I've done a lot of kind of different positions in that space. If you've worked in the nonprofit sector, you know that you have to wear a lot of hats. I was working at one organization and they got this system. Oh, it's Salesforce. This thing's Salesforce. We don't know what to do with it. And they said to me, "Oh, you're young. You know IT. So do it. Do the thing. Make it work." Yeah. And I had never had any experience with it before. But I love a challenge. So I was like, okay, this sounds cool. And I started using it and just doing a lot of self-learning. And it was really cool. And I really enjoyed getting into the operational space, kind of how can we use this program, this platform to, especially again in the nonprofit sector, kind of create efficiencies and really help make work, I guess. Like how do I help our staff really do the best type of work they can do and save money and all of that as well. It was a lot of fun. And that was how I first kind of got introduced into Salesforce. Since then, I had these skills that, especially again in the nonprofit sector, you don't see it as much. It's just difficult to find IT people, I guess, or in that kind of space who want to work in the nonprofit area. But I figured out, oh, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to be able to expand in my career. So I was working for different organizations. I decided I wanted to do some further education. So I moved to London and I was working on a degree there, International Studies and Diplomacy. While I was there, I was also working with a nonprofit organization as their Salesforce administrator. So mostly I've been in that administrator space. Again, operations and things like that. So how does this business work and how do we make it work better with Salesforce? I ended up moving back to California in March 2019. And while I was there, I worked with the American Red Cross. I'd done some contract work with them before, working with their Salesforce platform, data management, and with their fundraising team. So a lot of analyzing fundraising data and spreadsheets, and I was the go-to Salesforce person there. So I ended up doing the contract work for them as well. But I was looking for work. I went to the Trailhead DX conference in San Francisco, and I met Gabriel, one of the developers here. And I really wanted to travel, I guess. I wanted to be somewhere else. I wasn't ready to be back in the US. I loved the time I spent in London because it gave me the opportunity to really engage with different people. Especially the course I was on, people from all over the world, different perspectives, things like that. And in terms of my career, that's what I do, is understand how other people, other businesses, how they operate, and gaining that kind of perspective is really great in terms of like being able to figure out new solutions. So anyway, I met Gabriel and I kind of did a first pass around the career fair there, but I noticed that he mentioned like, oh, #1 Salesforce consultancy in the Nordics. And that I definitely like perked up to that because it meant that there was possibly some opportunity to be somewhere else. And so I was talking to him about like, oh, well, where in the US do you have offices? No, we don't have any offices in the US. We're solely in the Nordics. And he was just telling me about the company. He was like really friendly and engaging. And that was really cool. I enjoyed that. And he's like, yeah, we are actively looking for people to come join us, especially Salesforce professionals, people with that background. He gave me a little card and a water bottle and stuff. And I noticed everywhere it said like, work must be fun. And that was the hashtag. And I was like, well, I like that. That sounds really nice. And I saw that Fluido had an Instagram. So I started following them on Instagram. And I saw all these like really fun pictures and everything. It was, hashtag work must be fun. Friends don't let friends down. And I just loved that. I loved the idea of that. And again, coming from nonprofit background, kind of having that idea of that, and not just being a cog in the wheel, like working, feeling like you're valued at work is something that's important to me. And I really liked the idea of that this company has values, good values, and they actually show those values and how they operate. I put in an application after meeting Gabriel. And 4 months later, after the visa process went through, I'm here.
Here you are.
Yeah.
I remember Gabriel came back from California, from Trailhead and or Trailhead DX, and he's like, "Oh, I met this one person who was willing to move to Finland," and he's all excited. There's one person he found. I think a couple of others as well. But you're the brave one. Arrived in November to Finland.
I remember actually there was another person who was speaking to him at the time, and I overheard him talking about the Nordics things, and that's kind of what got me to stop and listen. And I could tell, like after I was asking these questions, where are you in the U.S.? And the other person was like, "Oh, you don't have any U.S. offices? Okay, that's not for me." And I remember him walking away, and I was like, "Haha,
that's my chance."
Yeah, because it is for me. Like that's what I wanted. Yeah,
here you are.
Here I am.
Yeah, that's such a sort of nice story. Just randomly going to a career fair and stopping at a booth, and 4 months later,
Yeah.
So tell me then, so the visa process and all of that, and that took a while, but tell me about your first day at Fluido when you arrived. What happened? Like the first day, don't go further, just the first day.
Just the first day. Okay, so the first day at Fluido was my second full day in Finland. So I got into the country like Saturday afternoon or something. The next day I went around the Helsinki area. I was like, well, I'm here, I better explore. And then I was at work the next day. The first day, it was kind of overwhelming just because there were so many people to meet. I came in, my supervisor came down and met me at the front desk and brought me up and started introducing me to people. And one of the best things, this is why I say it was overwhelming, everybody was so happy and nice. And like it wasn't just like, okay, yeah, I'm working. It was like they were okay with the fact that I was interrupting their work to introduce myself and go around and everything. Let's see, first day. Mostly it was just meeting everybody, getting set up, getting my equipment together and everything. Any questions I had, my supervisor was immediately there to help. I sat next to her during the day, and she kind of let me shadow around for a bit. Like I don't know where anything's at, and I definitely didn't feel like I was left alone, like just kind of left to my own devices or something. I definitely felt like I was cared for, I suppose.
A lot of the time, there's you hear people saying like, okay, it was a typical first day. I just sat at my desk and I looked at the intranet, or I went to lunch by myself or something. But we really want to make sure that people feel that the first day is something that matters, because in the end, everybody remembers their first day, but you don't remember your 13th day as vividly. So that's why I'm specifically asking about that. But then obviously it's not just the first day. You need to get into things and so forth. So then can you tell me a little bit about the onboarding onto Fluido, just the way we work and all of that, and obviously not just the working culture, but you had to get used to Finnish culture as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we helped you there much. But yeah, what happened?
I have a lot to say here. So not only getting used to the Fluido culture in general. And like I said, this is a transition for me as well. I've worked with the platform before, but this is the first time I'm working out. I've moved out of the nonprofit realm as well. So there were other things there to get kind of used to. Yes, Finnish culture, the weather, all of that.
I'm so sorry about that. It'll only get better. Don't worry.
Well, the fact that there's a lot more daylight, one of the biggest things I miss about California is the sun. So today's been a beautiful day. Luckily, just having daylight is nice. Yeah. But it's one thing that's been really nice is that I have had the opportunity to get to know Finnish culture. My colleagues here, another person who onboarded with me the same day, Asta, she's been amazing at just like, I feel kind of stupid sometimes. Like, I don't know, what is this thing? Like, I'm just not familiar with it. And she's like, oh yeah, this is what it is. And she'll explain it to me and like send me links on, oh yeah, we do this. I was setting up, getting my tax ID set up. And she's like, oh yeah, this is what that means. Here's where to go. These are the different like municipalities. And she was just there to help me with that. And that was amazing. I also had a Fluido friend. I was assigned a Fluido friend when I started. I didn't meet him the first day actually because he was on site with a customer. But I think it was the second day. He continued taking me around to everybody's desk and introducing me and just like made sure that I had everything handled that I could need. Just everything taken care of. And he also had worked with nonprofit customers as well. So I appreciated that was my background and that was thought of, I think, to kind of help me feel a little bit more comfortable and just also we're able to collaborate in a different way. Everybody, whether it's been about getting to know Fluido, how do I log hours? How do I do this? I can ask my Fluido friend or anybody. I think within the first week, somebody was like, oh, you just moved to Finland. Have you ever played padel? Like, come play the sport with us. And immediately just kind of took me in as a friend, which is really nice. And then we had for the whole onboarding process, recently we had the boot camp. So I'd started, I think, just a week too late to go to the previous year's boot camp. But it was as you know, this week-long, 4 days long introduction to the company. And I actually really appreciated being here. I just did that last month, I guess. So I appreciated being here for a couple of months to kind of get some more hands-on experience, I guess, with the company itself, and then hear all the great information about, okay, this is how we operate, this is where we find stuff in terms of the intranet or whatever, all of that, because it kind of made more sense. It was a bit more context. Another thing that I've really loved about in terms of the onboarding here is something, like I was saying, that's important to me is feeling like I belong, or like feeling comfortable with the people I work with, and like having a friendly atmosphere. And there's a group that likes to go to lunch early, the 11 o'clock, the early group. And I mentioned something about being more of a morning person. They're like, oh yeah, come with me. Like everybody's just been really welcoming, and there's always something for you. Or if you can't find something, everybody's been really helpful.
Where do you think that comes from?
I think, to be honest, I think part of it is the fact that it's such an international place. Everybody has, like, we all understand everybody's got a different experience, different cultures, different perspective. And I think those are the people more likely to be interested in engaging with other people, I guess, as well. If they're from a different area or something like that, you have to put yourself out there a bit more. So yeah, that's what I think. Part of it.
Yeah. And we do, I think everyone's had that first day. Everyone's been new, whether it is that you have come from another country, but definitely, you've come from another company, or you've come from, another background, whether you have some industry knowledge or specifically Salesforce knowledge or whatever it is. We all have a place where we've come from, and I've been here forever and a day, and it still feels to me that I see the people helping each other and understanding that it's really important to get people up to speed with what they're doing and so forth. So
I appreciate that there's this. I've been in other working environments before where it's just really difficult to get information, or it's like I'm working for everybody here, so why is it so difficult to get the assistance I need? And here it's not like that. Here I'm like, if I could ask somebody, one of our per experts or something, like how do I do this one thing? And there's this tiny thing I'm working on for a customer that kind of relates to it, and they'll stop and help me because they know it's good for everybody. It's if I'm able to scale up, I'm able to provide better support to our customers, and then the company does better, and then we all do better. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, let's all just help each other. It just works better, and that's really nice.
Yeah. I think that sounds about right. That we understand it's not a way for me. That it's we're working towards a common thing, a common goal, and so forth. Yeah. So then if we go back to the boot camp, because that's my special baby in a way, we have been doing boot camps for a while, over 30 of them. So we have new joinees. We get them together once a month, and then we have people come in and present their topic, whether it's a particular practice or whether it's our CEO coming in to talk about the company or our CMO coming in to talk about marketing or whatever it is. What I'm always amazed is that people are so happy to come in and share to the boot camp, because it happens every month, and some may think that there's a little bit of an extra work. You come in and you talk for an hour or two. But how did that make you feel? I mean, you sit in there for those few days, and then you have all these people coming in, talking to you. Did that mean anything to you? Yeah. In a way, because I'm always, even though I've seen 30 of these, I'm always in awe.
I thought it was an extremely valuable experience. And you mentioned the CEO coming in. That's one thing I really appreciated because, like you said, we've all had first days. And that was something as a new employee, I felt, again, seen, heard, like, okay, I do feel valuable because the CEO is coming in to present. And he didn't just talk about, it wasn't just the regular spiel. Like he had his slides that he always goes over and everything, but it wasn't just like, here's the company, politely, thank you for joining and goodbye. Like it was fine for us to ask questions. We talked about the logo, why that name? And I just felt like it was okay to be there. It was like, I immediately felt like part of the team, I suppose. And that was really, really nice. And then, like I said, to get all the information about all these different aspects of what we do, like I felt like it was just really like I immediately was like, okay, you're part of the team. It didn't feel like, oh, you're just the newbie or anything like that. It was really great. And it was also really nice to have like a cohort too of people I could, like I saw some of them here were doing a certification training here, and they're here from the one of the Sweden offices. And I was like, oh, hey, remember you from boot camp? It was, it's nice to have some other people as well that you recognize and kind of have this camaraderie with as well.
Yeah, because there is that boot camp of May 18 or whatever. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. All right, well, let's come to my last question now. So, and we ask this of everyone. What is your Fluido moment?
My Fluido moment. What does that mean?
Whatever moment at work you feel is your moment that you're happy to be here, or just describes what is Fluido, or describes your work, or I don't want to define it too much because whatever it means to you,
Okay. This is, so maybe this will be a bit different. It's kind of a collection of moments, I suppose, and it's a little bit outside of work, but I think it really kind of goes along with what we're talking about, like what defines Fluido or what has defined it for me. We're mentioning people being supportive and with the onboarding process of the company and me being new in the country. Somebody helped me, one of my colleagues here helped me move into my apartment, like pick up my bed, rented a van, and helped me move. Somebody else, like I said, helped me figure out how to get taxes worked out, how to get a bank account. I didn't realize it would be so difficult to open a bank account here. But somebody, like, they've been extremely helpful and just like, you need some kind of assistance, like, let me just help you. Or somebody else gave me a ride home to my Airbnb with my luggage, just because I mentioned like, oh man, how do I get a taxi? Like, I'm just not sure. I'm like, oh, well, let me just help you. I guess that's my collection of Fluido moments. Like everybody's been warm and welcoming, and just, I've definitely feel like they want me here, and like I'm encouraged to, I don't know, grow and learn and do all of that. Everybody's been supportive and really helped me get a handle on the company and the country and everything.
It sounds like you feel safe being here.
I absolutely do. And it was a scary transition. Pretty far across the world. I hadn't been here before, and I don't speak the local language and all of those things, but I do feel safe, and I feel like I can trust people here, and I'm happy.
Yeah, it sounds like it is a great story that you have. I was really, really waiting for you to tell it, because I think it's just so nice. California, and then Finland, November. and it's, like I said, it's only going to get better, which will be hopefully keep being good for you.
There's one other thing that I wanted to mention as well during my onboarding that's been really great is at the I think it was the first day, actually. This was part of the first day. One of the things that I was given besides my equipment and all of that was a passport, a Fluido passport.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry I didn't mention this before, but I think it's so cool. It's just, so the first, you collect stamps for completing these little, I don't want to say challenges, little tasks, I guess. And the first one is meet your Fluido friend and get to know them. Another one in there is sit down with somebody else at a coffee break or something and get to know something about one of your colleagues, or find other colleagues who, like, you could start a band with other musicians. But then there are also things like attend so many project meetings and kind of get to know how the company works. And one of my favorite things is post something on the feedback wall in our Fluido force in our Salesforce instance, because we want to hear what you have to say. How was it for you? And I, again, appreciate that that's taken into consideration, even fresh eyes, brand new people. But it's great that it is, fresh eyes, and we want to see that, and that's nice.
Yeah, that's the whole point, because you lose sight to things sometimes. So thanks for adding that.
Yeah,
that was forgot about that myself. All right. Then we actually have a website for the podcast, so fluidomoments.com, where you can go and have a look at these video clips and these podcasts. So we're going to collect all of them there. And last but not least, it was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
It's been really nice to have a conversation, and I'm really happy that you are happy at Fluido still after 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for taking the time and having a chat with me.